throughout my growing up years, my parents decided to have a canteen because they felt that with the cannery workers going, they could have a little business. And so my sisters and I worked in this canteen, and we made hamburgers and hot dogs and fries and that, and we were busy. And so we opened before lunch, and we closed around 10 o'clock in the evening. And so that business occurred for about 3 years until the cannery closed down.
How old were you guys about when you started working as a canteen, and was that considered your first job, or?
That's a good question. It wasn't my first job, and I was about 13 or 14 years old. My first job really was working in, or actually going out fishing with my dad. And so I was about 7 when I started going out fishing, and I would bribe my sisters to come out fishing with me so that we can color and paint. And so I guess I was the designated person to go out fishing, to help wash the dishes and do a little kind of prepping for meals. So I fished, 4 or 5 years. And we would come up to the Nass and fish. And at that time, I don't recall ever being afraid of the water, the roughness of the water. Although I didn't really like it out on the water because I wanted to be, on shore and having fun, and just being a kid with other children. And so I think that was my first job. And then I babysat, and I was very, very young, one summer, and then began to work in the canteen. I initially personally began working in the cannery during the herring season, and then was asked to work in the office with the company at the time. And so given that role, I was given a house to live in, so that was a real coup to have your own little house. And I was married at the time, and so got to know the fishermen very well during that time, of course working on their books and the coupons. The fishermen would come in and get coupons, $20 books or $50 books, and then they would utilize that to purchase their groceries and gas. And the grocery shop was a store. The grocery store was right next door to the office. And so it was, I think as I look back, it was an amazing, self-sufficient type of lifestyle. Everyone supported each other, it seemed like, in terms of the fishing. There was this network between the Nisga'a fishermen. There was also another individual that would connect with the Gitxsan fishermen in the Wet'suwet'en. And so there was this collegial type of support among the fishermen.